Right.
So now some of these bands aren't going to take these gigs because if it's not worth it, how can you get out on the road if if you were just getting by with the gigs that you had and the money that you were making beforehand, and now you lose 20%? That's, I'm not here for doom. I'm not here to sound like doom and gloom. I really am not. I want this to come back. I want, it's what I love. It's what I do. I think about the International Blues Challenge that's supposed to happen in January. And, I hope we can have it. I think it's so important to what we are and who we are as a genre. I hope that we can get through this and we can all be smart enough to know that what should be done and what has to be done.
And that's one of the great events. I've got to know about that the last couple of years. Bridget Purdy, I interviewed her while she was at the Blues Challenge. Lawrence Lebo, Dee Miller, Mark Harmon, all those people have been guests. Tell me about the Blues Challenge. Oh, my God, yes, that's where everybody coming from all the states, international, representing their societies, their groups on Beale Street. And
right now, a lot of the local societies, would start to have their local challenges. Each society is allowed to send one band, one solo duo act, and nominate one youth showcase act to go to Memphis. How it works is Wednesday and Thursday, every act plays in their venue. And at the end of those two nights, they pick a number of acts from each venue to move on to a Friday night, and then they get it down to 8 bands and 8 solo duo acts for Saturday at the Orpheum Theater in Memphis. The bands, it's 25 minutes set. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All you need to do is be your best for 25 minutes and do your best for 25 minutes and bring it. And you might get through to the next round. You might get through to the finals. You might be on that final stage, or you might not. But if for that 25 minutes Tuesday, or it's 25 minutes Wednesday, Thursday, and if you play on Friday, even if that's as far as you go, you can still change your life in Memphis, Tennessee. Jerry Singleton never got to the final stage. Don't think it matters. He's touring the world. There are bands who never get to Friday night, who get seen by promoters who fall in love with them, and they start to build a routing ability to get them out there to do festivals and venues. And it's basically it's a family reunion every year in Memphis. Yeah. It's just a great week of fun, and I did a year where I was there, 2011, doing photographs for an online site that no longer exists. And at the end, I went to the Blues Foundation and I said, I'd like to bring my show there if we can find a place for me to set up. And we did at upstairs at Rum Boogie Cafe in a room that was a storeroom at the time. And over the next couple of years, management at Rum Boogie fixed the room up. It became Foo Bar. And I did my 10th year. I just did my 10th year there, my 9th year there this year. 21 live hours of interviews. It's a great event. It's a great event.
Couch. That's the couch, man. Everybody was wanting to come and visit you, Vinny, during the challenge.
And luckily, Rum Boogie actually has a couch that we actually put on the stage, and we have a couch for that week. So,
yes.
Excuse me.
I know.
And we've been able to do it and just have a lot of fun, and The Blues Foundation has been very cooperative. Going back to Jay Seelman and with Joe Whitmer and now Barbara Newman, knowing and helping me to make sure that I can be there and I can interview, and whoever wants to come can come. So it's a great time, and to me, the most fun is meeting the kids, meeting the youth, and finding out where their heads are and how they got to be where they are at 14, 13, 14 years old, that they're playing this music that you would think they wouldn't be playing, but they are.
No, they're picking up on Clapton and all that stuff, or whatever maybe their influences may be, whatever brings them into the blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan, or, a lot of people.
That's the name. A lot of times when I ask the youth where, they'll say, well, I heard Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I just sit down and listen. And if they say, I fell in love with him, and, I love everything he does, and I say to myself, okay, good, kid will be a guitar player, but that's about it. But when they say, but I wanted to find out where Stevie Ray learned what he knew, then I know, okay, this person's going to be around for a while, and this person, really wants to be in this genre and to play this music. There's been, I've been fortunate enough to have met so many young musicians. One that comes to mind, Matthew Davidson. I met him back in 2013. He's not playing blues. He's actually doing more country rock right now. And he's touring, and he's been on, Good Morning America, and with the band that he plays on, and he plays, arenas around the world. Just a great guitar player. Cole Lehman and his sister Logan from In Layman Terms out of Virginia Beach. The first time I saw them was Taz Crew Rum Boogie Jam in, it's got to be 6 years ago. And I think Logan was 14, and somebody put a bass guitar on her that was bigger than she was, and she started playing, and it was like, oh, cool, a girl can play bass guitar. And then she walked up to the microphone and pushed everybody back 3 feet with her voice at 14 years old. Just phenomenal. And her brother Cole, guitar player, just excellent musicians. And they've both, continued to learn and continued to grow as musicians while they do other things in their lives, which is the coolest thing in the world. So, those are the people. There's so many out there right now. I could go on about the youth for 2 hours, but you can ask the next question.
Well, Vinny, I was going to say that's some big stuff for them, though. When they're at that Blues Challenge that weekend, and then they can talk to you on the couch and take that home, because a lot of the digital stuff, the interviews, then they can carry that as a great memory, too. Very big stuff you're doing.
Again, every interview I've ever done at the International Blues Challenge is on Music on the Couch in the IBC section. Each year, every show is there, every interview is there. Everything, they're all there. There's probably right now, I don't know, close to 2,000 interviews on the site. So they're for whenever you want them. Go find your new favorite artist.
Yeah, they're right there and growing. One thing I want to ask you about, a little bit of Nashville. I talk a little about Nashville, Memphis. I've been in Nashville just one time. I had Richard Cushing on the show from Free World, and he was telling me that Memphis is more of a place that you can grow for your talent. You can cultivate it more. Nashville, it's a little bit more of the business side, should I say? Is that kind of how
it's not an area that I can speak with a lot of authority on, because I don't know. I know a lot of people who live in Nashville.
Yeah,
I lived in Memphis. I've never lived in Nashville. I know a lot of musicians who have gone to Nashville and who have grown. Meg Williams, Meg has grown by leaps and bounds since she started, going, being in Nashville and doing the songwriting, all the songwriting workshops. There's just so many wonderful musicians there also. It's funny. People would say to me when I left Memphis, are you gonna miss it? I had friends who lived in Memphis, but I never saw them because they were always on the road, touring. I'd call Jeff Jensen and say, "Hey, Jeff, you want to go for a beer?" And he'd say, "I'm in Belgium. I don't need to go for a beer with you." So I mean, it's like I've seen him more since I moved to Florida than I saw him when we both lived, an hour away from each other. So I mean, it's Memphis is the other thing with Memphis is it's not as blues as people would suspect it is when it's not International Blues Challenge or
fest time,
or that time of year. Yeah, a lot of thank you. A lot of people just presume that you can see that kind of talent all the time, and it's unfortunate if you don't. But again, that's part of the nature of the beast. It's tough. It is a tough business. It's a tough business to make money from the club standpoint. It's a tough business from the musician standpoint. We have to hope that these venues survive.
Yeah, because those are the old school venues are their homes that they have. I know a lot in the Milwaukee area. Saloon on Calhoun is a place that a lot of the local artists go to. They have their open mics and all that stuff. Everything revolves around that one owner that welcomes everybody, that does so much. And if they can't keep the doors open, and the other thing I was thinking about how the event was going to be with a crowd. We haven't even had the actual event, with the masks, right, how people are going to act. Oh my! We don't even have that yet. What the crowd's going to be? Oh my God! Civilized, should I say? Besides the music.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's already been incidents. The ice cream shop up in Maine, and the customers were screaming at a 17-year-old girl because she was asking them to separate, and to distance. And the owners of the place said, "You want to shoot our employees like that? Okay, fine. We're closing." And they just closed the whole shop. I mean, we need to remember we're all in this together.
Yeah, it's some really unknown territory. I'll tell you what, let's take a little break, Vinny. I'm going to play Money Junkie right now. Charlie Bedford, and we'll be right back. Thank you, bro.
I can't say how long, but I'll be back soon. How many boys you got in a room? Wishing you what'll happen next. If it all goes wrong, I better send a text. People listen now, she'll make your wallet hot. She wants your money, sonny, 'cause she's a money junkie. You think you're funny lucky, she's a money junkie. I know she's texting me, missing you hard.